Your happiness matters too, the radical act of choosing yourself. Have you ever stayed in a situation that was slowly draining your spirit? Where every morning you'd wake up with this heaviness, this weight pressing against your chest that whispered, "This isn't right for you anymore." But still you stayed because leaving felt selfish, because setting boundaries felt cruel, because choosing yourself felt wrong. I recently had the profound honor of interviewing Dwan, Gordon St. John for the Soft Girl Era podcast. And I must tell you, her wisdom cracked something open in me that I didn't even realize was sealed shut. Dwan isn't just a voice in the Black professional community. She's a revolutionary force challenging generational patterns of self sacrifice that have quite literally been killing us. Her message struck me with such clarity that I haven't stopped thinking about it since. Your happiness matters too. It's okay to walk away and still love a person, but loving yourself comes first. Such a simple truth. Yet, for so many of us, especially Black women who've been conditioned to carry everyone else's burdens, it feels revolutionary, doesn't it? Today, I want to explore this radical notion, not as some abstract concept, but as a life saving practice that Dwan has championed through her work with Black professionals and entrepreneurs who find themselves caught between cultural expectations and personal well being. The data tells a sobering story, and frankly, it's one we need to confront head on. A comprehensive study from Ontario surveyed over 12,000 middle and high school students and found that Black adolescents, particularly Black girls, were significantly less likely to access mental health services even when experiencing severe distress. The gap actually widened as distress increased, meaning those who needed help most were least likely to receive it. Think about that for a moment. The more pain they felt, the less help they sought. Does that sound familiar to anyone else in this room? That terrible inverse relationship. The worse we feel, the more we hide it. This pattern doesn't magically disappear in adulthood. If anything, it calcifies. We become experts at hiding our struggles, at pushing through, at performing strength while crumbling inside. We develop PhDs in smiling through pain and master's degrees in I'm fine when we're anything but fine. Dwan's message challenges this directly. Your happiness isn't negotiable. It isn't something to be sacrificed on the altar of other people's expectations. It isn't a luxury to be enjoyed only after everyone else's needs have been met. Let me be clear about something. This isn't about selfishness. This isn't about abandoning responsibility. This is about recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup and that your cup matters just as much as anyone else's. Actually, let me correct myself. Your cup doesn't just matter as much. Your cup is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. The research backs this up in ways that should make us all stop and reconsider our priorities. The stress of navigating hostile environments, whether that's racism, toxic relationships, or soul crushing work cultures, creates anxiety and depressive symptoms that mirror PTSD. Your body literally keeps the score of every boundary you fail to set, every yes that should have been a no, every time you choose someone else's comfort over your own well being. When I think about the Ontario study findings, what strikes me most isn't just the statistics, though they're alarming enough. It's the human stories behind those numbers. Black youth, especially young Black girls, suffering in silence, believing they don't deserve help or that seeking it somehow represents a failure of character rather than a triumph of self awareness. And here's what's particularly heartbreaking: this pattern doesn't just hurt individuals, it ripples outward, affecting families, communities, and ultimately our collective potential. When bright, talented people stay in situations that dim their light because they've been taught that endurance equals virtue, we all lose. When Dwan says it's okay to walk away and still love a person, she's offering us permission to hold two truths simultaneously. You can love someone deeply and still recognize when that relationship is harming you. You can appreciate what a job has given you and still acknowledge when it's time to leave. This wisdom feels especially crucial for Black women who've been socialized to be the backbone of families, communities, and workplaces, often at tremendous personal cost. We're taught from girlhood that strength means sacrifice, that our worth is measured by what we endure rather than what we create or enjoy. Howard University recognized this crisis and responded with targeted mental health initiatives after noting alarming increases in suicide rates among young Black Americans, particularly those under 24. Their approach acknowledges something profound, that choosing yourself isn't just about personal happiness, it's sometimes literally about survival. What makes their program particularly effective is how it centers the specific experiences of Black youth rather than applying one size fits all approaches that have historically failed our communities. They've created spaces where young people can speak openly about the unique pressures they face, from racism to family expectations to economic challenges, without fear of being misunderstood or pathologized. But here's what makes Dwan's perspective so powerful. She doesn't just identify the problem, she offers a pathway forward that honors both our cultural context and our individual needs. The first step, recognizing that prioritizing your mental health isn't selfish, it's essential. For generations, seeking help has been stigmatized in our communities. We've been told to pray about it, to push through it, to keep family business private. Meanwhile, the system itself presents barriers: lack of culturally competent providers, misdiagnoses, and services that weren't designed with our experiences in mind. Dwan challenges us to reject these narratives, to recognize that caring for your mental health is as necessary as caring for your physical health, that therapy isn't a luxury, it's maintenance. That medication isn't weakness, it's medicine. The second step, understanding that walking away from toxic situations is an act of self love. This might be the hardest part because we've been taught that endurance equals strength, that loyalty means staying no matter what, that putting others first is the mark of a good person. But what if the most loving thing you can do, both for yourself and ultimately for others, is to set boundaries? What if walking away from what depletes you creates space for what might fulfill you? Dwan's message reminds us that boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to healthier relationships with ourselves and others. They're not about shutting people out, they're about inviting the right energy in. The third step, finding community support and culturally competent care. This is where institutional change meets personal agency. The Ontario study showed something remarkable. When barriers to mental health services were addressed through culturally responsive approaches, Black youth accessed care at rates comparable to their white peers. Environment matters, representation matters. Having providers who understand the unique intersection of your identities matters. Dwan emphasizes the importance of seeking spaces that affirm who you are, all of who you are. Not just your race, but your gender, your sexuality, your faith, your whole self. Because healing happens in context, it happens in community, it happens when you feel seen. I'm reminded of a powerful affirmation that resonates with Dwan's message. I give myself permission to set boundaries that protect my energy, my peace, and my growth. My needs are valid, my feelings matter, my happiness counts. Say that to yourself. Really let it sink in. I give myself permission to set boundaries that protect my energy, my peace, and my growth. My needs are valid. My feelings matter. My happiness counts. Now, I want to offer a challenge, one that Dwan shared during our conversation. This week, identify one boundary you need right now. Maybe it's saying no to additional responsibilities when you're already overwhelmed. Maybe it's stepping back from a relationship that consistently leaves you feeling drained rather than energized. Maybe it's simply turning off your phone after 8 p.m. so you can be fully present with yourself. Whatever form it takes, set that boundary, not harshly, not apologetically, but firmly, lovingly, and with the conviction that your well being matters. Then notice what happens. Notice how your body responds. Notice if guilt shows up. And if it does, remind yourself that guilt is often the residue of expectations that were never yours to carry in the first place. This small act of choosing yourself might feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is normal. It's the growing pain of reclaiming your right to prioritize your own happiness. As Dwan so powerfully articulated during our interview, this journey towards self prioritization isn't selfish, it's sacred. It's not about abandoning others, it's about showing up more authentically for them because you first shown up for yourself. The research from both the Ontario study and Howard University's initiatives points to a critical truth. Systemic change is necessary, but personal agency is powerful. While we advocate for more inclusive mental health services and push back against stigma, we can simultaneously make choices that honor our individual needs. So here's my challenge to you today: stop waiting for permission to prioritize your happiness. Stop believing that your worth is tied to your productivity or your ability to endure discomfort. Stop thinking that choosing yourself means abandoning others. Your happiness isn't a luxury item to be purchased only after all other bills are paid. It's the foundation upon which everything else in your life stands. When you honor your needs, your boundaries, your joy, you become more, not less, more present, more authentic, more powerful, more able to create meaningful change in the world. Today, I'm asking you to make a radical commitment, not just to hear these words, but to live them, to wake up tomorrow and ask yourself, what would it look like to choose myself today? And then to do it. Not once, not twice, but consistently, courageously, unapologetically. Because your happiness isn't just about feeling good, it's about being whole. It's about honoring the fullness of who you are. And sometimes that means making choices that others won't understand. Those choices might look like therapy, they might look like medication, they might look like leaving a relationship or changing careers or moving to a new city. They might look like saying no to something you've always said yes to. Whatever form they take, remember this: your happiness matters too, not because you've earned it through sacrifice or proven yourself worthy through suffering. It matters because you exist, because you are here, because you deserve to thrive, not just survive. And that, my friends, isn't just a nice sentiment, it's a revolutionary act. In a world that profits from your self doubt and benefits from your sacrifice, choosing yourself isn't just personal, it's political. It's a declaration that your life matters, that your joy matters, that your peace matters. So today, I invite you to join this quiet revolution, to stand firmly in the knowledge that your happiness matters too. Not someday, not when everyone else is taken care of, not when you've checked all the boxes or met all the expectations. Your happiness matters right now, today, in this moment. Choose it, claim it, protect it, and watch how that choice transforms not just your life, but the world around you. Thank you.